Okay, I'm recording now. Any special messages for YouTube before we start? Big shout out from Toby. Okay. Alright, so the first one was reasonably straightforward. We've got 580 people. Oh, that's how you draw an 8. Alright. We can't just write the answer. We need the working.
85% of 580 is 580 times 0.85, which is 493.
493 is right, yep. So if you write it as a percentage or as a decimal. 493 students, okay? Easy. Now this one here, a little bit tricky as to how you interpret it. I interpreted it as a minimum of 7 players, and it suggested there's 2 substitutes, so that to me means 5 players with 2 subs. A couple people thought 7 players plus 2 subs more makes 9. That's okay. I accepted both of those. Alright, so really we're going to take our 493, divide it by 7, which you're working. What does that mean? What the hell? Right. Now if you wrote 70, that'd be okay. If you gave me a reasonable reason why you could say 71, for instance, we'll just have 2 teams with just 1 sub or something like that, or we'll have so many teams with so many subs, that'd be okay. Right, so with number tests like this, there's often going to be no one right answer. And we'll come to that especially in question 6. Alright, so 70 teams. 70 teams or 71 teams with... Yeah. I'm saying that... Yeah, so if you did 7 plus 2 subs, that's fine, okay? That'll just be... In fact, that probably makes more sense. 54, right? And if you said 55 teams, but 2 teams had only 1 sub, all good. Alright? As long as you justified it, I would take either of those answers. All good?
Yeah.
Right. Now the next option, and a lot of people missed this part of the question. Okay, so you take your 493, divide it by 14 because it's 10 players and 4 subs. This was a little bit more explicit on what you have to do. 493 divided by 14. So I'm going to say there's 35 teams. Can't see that. Yeah, there we go. 35 teams. Oh, there's a light. Anyway, 35 teams, but you weren't done because you had to tell me how many players and how many subs. So if it's 35 times 10 equals 350 players. And 35 times 4 equals 140 subs. Okay. If you didn't do that bit, then it counts as a mistake. You're only allowed 2 mistakes from there. Yep. Okay, there's another example. You can also have 350, what do I say, 353 players, 140 subs, 352 players, 141 subs. I was taking all of those, and if you had something different and you explained it, if it was reasonable explanation, then all good. Right, question 4. How many people got a tick for this? Who got a... But yeah, if you got an X in there somewhere, that means you've made this mistake that I was talking about.
How many X's do you have to get
on? It all varies as well. I know it's tough to explain. You got E. I just looked at it off. That's all. Alright. Let's have a look at this first. Alright. Shh. This is important. This is the thing that you guys almost all got wrong. So pay attention to this one. Right. I've got $100. I'm a teacher, that's all I've got. I've got $100. I'm going to add GST to it. What do I need to do?
Times 1.15.
Right? Eli, you paying attention? That gives me $115, okay? Now I've got $115, including GST, and I want to go back to my starting amount. What do I do? Times 0.85. Let's try it. $97.75. That doesn't make sense because I started with $100. Right, I'm going to divide it by, whoa, there you go. Anyone watching that's going to get vertigo, not vertigo, motion, car sickness, there you go. 1.15, okay? What's the opposite of multiplying by 1.15? It is, it's drunk.
It's blurry, but it's divided.
I hit it and it's blue. There we go. So if something includes GST, then what percentage do you have? You got 115% to start with. So to go back to the original 100%, you have to divide by 1.15.
So it will never work if you times it by 0.85.
Nope. Okay. It's a different ratio. So you can't times by 0.85 because that's not telling you anything to do with GST. So the last lesson we have before the test, I'm going to go over that again because it's a simple mistake that almost all you made. So we'll be able to iron that out by just covering it quickly before the thing. But I would recommend that you put that down. Adding, removing GST. You can put that under the percentages.
So is that your first thing that you should do?
Well, if you made a mistake before then, you have to try and identify what sort of mistake it was. Was it a percentages or a fractions?
But for this question, is that the first thing you should do?
It doesn't matter which order you do it. If you do a third, then remove GST, or a GST, then a third, it will give you the same answer, okay? So, 365 divided by 1.15 will give you a new value of $317.39. You got a mark for rounding sensibly. I round to 2 decimal places because dollars and cents. Okay? If you manage to show me that you can remove GST, you can round properly, and you can take a third of something, that's an achieved. All right? 3 skills, that's all you needed for achieved. So there is, now you get a 1/3 discount. So if I times that by 2/3, or if I times it by 1/3 then remove it, so I'm going to times it by either 2/3 or 0.666666. Either of those will be acceptable because they'll be close enough. I'll do it by 2/3. Equals 211.59. Actually, I'll go to there for now. Because we're purchasing 10 sets, so it's going to be don't forget your dollar sign now, that's the answer. Right? That one there, I don't think there's any other fully correct answer, but you might have got a tick anyway if you did that bit wrong. If you did the GST bit wrong, you might have got a tick because I marked it as a consistent. The working from then on was right, yeah. Okay? And you could still get excellence without making everything 100% correct, but I think you're only allowed 1 mistake for excellence, I think. Okay. Both of these are excluding GST. If you chose to include GST on question 5, I still gave it to you, even though schools don't pay GST. So if you added GST on, it's a mistake, but I'll let that one slide. So the gear will be free, but we're only able to have 10 sets. It'll cost you either $40 or $35 an hour. Some of you worked out the $40 price. I would probably choose the cheapest one. So it's going to be $35 an hour times how many sets do you want. If you want 10 sets, then it'll be times 10. Times how many hours you're going to have it for. It said somewhere 9 to 3, I think it was, on the next page. Yeah, so we want 10 sets for 6 hours. So 35 times 10 times 6 gives you $2,100. Okay. Right, now question 6. Right, that there is the marking schedule. So your options were you can hire or you can buy. Some people chose to make an argument based on just which one was cheapest. Okay, that probably by itself wouldn't have been enough for an excellence. You have to have shown some extra insight into the context of the situation, right? This is almost like the L and the peel thing that we're on about. You have to link it to the context. So this one here says, as this is the first school-wide competition, I recommend that we hire the equipment. Lots of people said we should buy the equipment, and if you back that up, saying that we should buy the equipment can be equally as good an answer as saying that we should hire the equipment. It wasn't a true or false question. It was how you explained it. So this person says we should buy it, or we should hire it, because that way, if it isn't well received, we haven't wasted the extra funds because they thought it cost more to buy. If it's well received, we might buy it later. It also means, and this is probably a good point here, if you hire it, then you don't have to worry about people trying to run the activities, right? So there's just that there, pretty much no maths in it. It's just an explanation based on the working you did in the first 5 questions. Right. If you said we should buy the equipment, and that way next year we've got the equipment already paid for, plus we want to have more than 10 teams, we want to have 17 teams, then that's a good reason for buying it. Okay, but that was all assessed on an individual case basis, so I'm not going to bother going through another example other than that one. So are there any questions about this paper that you want to ask now?